Phil Valentine. It's just common sense.
You know, a lot of people are making a big deal about Arctic ice melting, and they're not telling you the whole story. We actually talked with Dr. John Christie for our documentary. Dr. John Christie was one of the lead authors of the IPCC report that all of these folks that are so big on global warming, they always point to the IPCC. This guy was a lead author, and here's what Dr. John Christie had to say about the Arctic ice melting.
The hard data does show the Arctic sea ice has shrunk quite a bit in the last few decades. I want people to realize that Arctic ice is floating already, so its melt does not change the sea level at all. And one consequence of the melting might be increased snowfall over Greenland and other parts of the Arctic as more water is exposed. But that doesn't take into account also what's happening at the other pole, the South Pole, where sea ice has actually increased. So that when you add the two together, you come up pretty much right at average.
Oh, there's more to the story, huh? The ice is actually increasing at the South Pole. As a matter of fact, we had a story from October of 2012 that said historic amounts of ice at the South Pole. By the way, Dr. Christie's interview and much more, that's included in our documentary, An Inconsistent Truth. You can find more at aninconsistenttruth.com. But the fact is that the Arctic ice has been melting just since we've had satellite measurements since 1979. It has been cyclical as long as we can tell. Now, this is a photograph of a submarine that is actually bobbing in the water at the North Pole in the 1950s. Yes, the 1950s. Hardly any ice at all. So apparently there was a lot less ice in the 1950s than there has been since 1979, since we've had satellite measurements. Also, we have newspaper accounts from the 1920s and 30s showing the same thing. It is cyclical. So these people are all hysterical about global warming. If we have ice melting in the North Pole and we have ice accumulating in the South Pole, apparently it's not global. It's just common sense.